how's it going? And don't you just love this beautiful sunshine? Oh my goodness, it is gorgeous today. I'm going to turn the camera around to show you. Yes, I've got netting on the open windows to make sure I don't get any bees and wasps in here, but look at that! Oh my god, I don't know if the camera's doing it justice there, but it is gorgeous. I love it. It's not too hot, not too cold. It's lovely. I was wearing a long sleeve black t-shirt over the top of my dress. I had to take that off as soon as I went for a morning walk or lunch. It was lunchtime walk that I went on. So welcome to another reading vlog. This I'm calling TikTok chooses what I read. So I actually did a post not just on TikTok, but pretty much all over my social platforms. If you want to follow me on social media, look down below. I'll have them listed there. But anyway, I am going by TikTok because that's where basically I've been getting the most suggestions from. So, oh my god, suggestions. If you've watched my content before, you would know that some words, for some bizarre reason, I have to sound out through each syllables because otherwise I can't say them. I don't know why. Anyway, so this was probably the most recommended suggestion throughout the whole of social media platforms, but I want to say at least 2 people on TikTok said that I should read The Cosy Cat Society by Charlie Lyndhurst. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Now, I have a friend who's actually read this, and I might need to message her and just to say, what did you think of the Cat Society, Cosy Cat Society? Because I'm about to read it, and it was suggested to me on TikTok. So that is my next read for this vlog. It is currently Monday afternoon. I think it's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'm going to take this wonderful book, and I might even read outside once I've applied a bit more sunscreen. So yeah, come with me to read this next book, which was suggested by TikTok followers. Well, 2 chapters down, and I'm confused. So we're following Sasha, who is the owner of I forget what it's called. I think it's called basically a cat sanctuary. And she's struggling financially. She has volunteers that help her out. She's middle-aged, so she doesn't quite understand the rapid changes in technology. I mean, I'm almost 30 and I don't understand it, so I get it. But she doesn't kind of understand the social media marketing side of things. And there's a volunteer, Paul, who is very into that, so much so that he's actually obsessing over his ex, because his ex basically took his cat, and that is breaking his heart. I completely get that. But I am a bit confused, because does that mean the romance is going to be between them? I don't know. So maybe I'm looking into it too much. Maybe that's my problem. But halfway through iced water, it's lovely, it's warm. Yeah, I'm going to read a bit more, and then we'll see what time it is. I might have to go in for dinner. Guess who's almost halfway? Guess who's almost halfway? Yes, I'm almost halfway in the Cosy Cat Society, and I will say, this is a great insight into basically the human psychology. Like, basically, I don't understand human psychology very well, so I didn't study that. I just want to make that clear. But the one thing I will say before my hand hurts is that the way we go through life events and we think we're reacting to them wrong, for example, or we react on an impulse before thinking, if you know what I mean, that happens a lot. And even more so, it brings up how animals, in particular in this case cats, help with mental health. In fact, the storyline of Anna, God, I nearly cried, because that is very close to home. I will say that. I don't want to go into too many details because I don't want to, I'll be at risk of spoiling the plot, basically. But basically we're following Sasha, who owns, what's the name of the cat place. Blah, 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 blah. That's weird, it doesn't say. But she basically runs this cat sanctuary. And she has volunteers working for her, and it does chop and change from the perspectives. So each chapter is basically a perspective of one of the volunteers, if not Sasha. Now, there's a storyline with Sasha going on for the fact that not only is she struggling financially to keep this place open, she's also struggling to basically keep her cool with the people who say they want a cat, but they want a specific cat, like a really, really specific cat. And they're just calling. And she doesn't use social media very much in the beginning until one volunteer, Paul, who I don't quite understand what he does for a living, but I know it's something to do with cyber or IT. So he's got that kind of skills. Sorry, I looked over at my cat, Coco, who has just woken up, probably listening to me talking to you. Anyway, I digress. So Sasha's got the financial woes about her, that she's at risk of being kicked out by the landlord. The landlord wants to sell the property. And I must say, it sounds really lovely. It's like an old, an old historical building, an old Victorian place. It's just her living there, but she also has the cats living there sometimes when they can't be rehomed, which is so sweet. She's a good egg, but there's another storyline of her basically giving up a child for adoption at the age of 16 in 1993. And this is happening, I want to say, 30 years on from that. So the timeline would have been 2023. So 3 years on from now with me reading this book and filming this vlog. Are you following? Sorry if you're getting confused. But anyway, basically her son turns up at the cat sanctuary. And before, Luke is his name. He is a gay dancer. He's part of a dance troupe. He's had very loving adoptive parents, but now he's got to a stage in his life, having turned 30, he wants to find his biological parents. He manages to track down his mum, but Sasha gets such a shock that she actually faints on Luke's arrival. I mean, who wouldn't? In that, I don't know how I would react in that point. And actually, one of the characters does say, "See how you feel in Sasha's." Oh my god! See how you feel in Sasha's shoes. Oh my goodness, why do I have to basically do every single syllable with that sentence? Sorry, speaking of cats, my cat wants to go outside. Let me pause you for a minute. Okay, it looks like I'm not going to be going out for a walk anytime soon because I've just opened the back door for the cat to go out. Or I'm not quite sure whether she actually wants to go out at all. She might just want to sunbathe. Anyway, back to the book. So we're following Sasha, whose son of 30 years has now turned up and found her. And he's not going away, by the way. He's staying in a nearby hotel. Anna has just lost her two parents and dealing with the grief of that and having to pay care home fees, which is terrifying, actually, to think about that. I'm trying not to think about that too much. I'm nowhere near in that stage of my life, but oh my god, that terrifies me. But anyway, I digress. That's Anna. Then there's Mim, or Miriam. She likes to be called Mim. She was a travel rep or a travel agent in Spain for many, many years, and then retired back to Essex. And she's feeling rather lonely because, like, life in Spain, life in the UK, it's completely different. So no wonder I think she's still adjusting to that. And the chapter that I've just read, her nephew, his wife and their daughter have turned up on the way back from a trip in Norfolk, and they ended up having a dinner or a lunch together, and she got to know her great niece, basically, and she feels settled after that, and she's offered to basically reach out and babysit for them to get to know not only her nephew but her great niece. So every character is slowly trying to find themselves in some way. Oh, and if you want tea for a romance, there is one. romance. Paul and Luke. Let me tell you, if those two don't get together, Oh, I'll be so annoyed if they don't get together. But anyway, that's basically where I am with that. I really want to go for a walk, and I don't think Coco is interested in going outside. Let's say hi to her, shall we? Here she is. Here's my little cat. How are you, Missy? Okay. Yes, you just want to stretch and probably sunbathe, which is fine by me.